Heyo guys, girls, and everyone in between, this is Rebellious Pastry here, and I was gonna do this video and part 3 of Johnny Jams together, but when I looked at it, it was gonna be a 10,000 plus frame video, and with my IRL obligation and Inktober and everything that I'm doing for the channel so far, it wouldn't have been the best decision and would have resulted in a long rushed video. But anyways, let's get started. I'm gonna get started with someone who I worked with by the name of Rebellious. This isn't his real name, but he preferred it over his real name. He was asking me all over my time there when I was gonna do this series, and I guess my answer is right now. So I hope you enjoy the series now that it's here. Rebellious was someone that worked with me on Thursdays until sports took that day away from him, and he only worked when my streams happened. One interesting story I have about him is he tricked me into thinking that he had a twin by the name of his real name, and it was believable that he had a twin. When he told me that it was a joke, I still called him Rebellious. Next up we have Wizard Bagel, which isn't his real name, but I call him that because it was a part of an inside joke. He was probably the closest thing to a gentleman Johnny Jams had. He acts like the cool guy most of the time, but if you really needed to talk, then he was there for you. And at the time of making this script, he was single, which was very surprising to me because he seemed like the total ladies man. If I was a girl and was less a romantic, then I probably would have asked him out on a date. Then there was this dude by the name of Preston that went to the same school as I did at the point and told me he saw me, but I said, I haven't seen you before in my life. This would commonly happen because I was the kid that was really rememberable, which if you somehow remember me from elementary school, middle school, hello, but please don't name drop me in the comments or use my dead name in the comments. But yeah, me and Preston ended up getting really close, and he watches this channel and shares it with others. I ended up taking a few shifts for him, which I was happy to do because he was such a chill friend to have. Then we ended up having this one dude. I'm gonna call him Tommy, fake name, because he was someone who was an interesting type of character and wouldn't have wanted me to use his real name. The stuff he did would deserve a video on itself, but to keep it simple, he was very inconsiderate of Nate, which if you mistreat Nate, I'm gonna have issues with you. He was very unteachable, very uncooperative person. I literally had to argue with him twice about who was the cashier that shift, and it was a total mess. He ended up getting fired. There was this one girl that I got to work with a little bit by the name of Markel, which ended up still being there when I left, and probably still is as we speak. Then there were a few after her that I unfortunately didn't get to know well enough to mention because at that point I already put in my 2 weeks. Thank you to all my coworkers that worked with me. And now is his time for the end card again. So I decided to go ahead and more break up the coworkers from the drivers and managers just because I didn't want my video to be too long and for me to rush through the video and have it be bad quality. So that's why I split it up that way. Just so you guys know, Nate was a boss I had, which I'm gonna explain in the next video. I just wanted to go ahead and say his name since he's gonna be a pretty important character and person when it comes to like my Johnny Jams experience. I hope everyone that I worked with is doing well. I'm trying to go ahead and visit back at that Johnny Jams as much as possible, but with IRL obligation that is kind of difficult. But yeah, I hope you guys are watching and enjoying this video and this series. The next episode is probably going to be this year, but the episodes after that is probably going to carry on to 2023. Anyways, I hope you guys are having a good time over at this channel, and I'm definitely working way harder now that I have the community tab. I guess everyone has it now, but yeah, YouTube's a lot of work, but it's worth it. Anyways, I platonically love you, my donut batch, and see you in the future to come.